Oh, I need to bring the stand back.
Yes, you do. I thought you had it. Where's that?
It's at the church.
All right, y'all. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. We're gonna go ahead and get into this thing. Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask for you to forgive us of our sins and the sins of our ancestors, Father. We ask for you to lead us and guide us into all truth. We ask you to protect us and keep us from all hurt, harm, or danger, Father. We're grateful for our lives, Father. We thank you for each and every day above ground. We thank you for the usefulness of all of our being, Father, because it's because of you that we live, move, and have our being, Father. We just want to put a prayer covering over Elder Parson, Father. He's suffering with gout, Father. We ask for you to heal him and to touch his body, Father. We thank you for healing Pastor Griffin as well, Father. And we thank you for healing Master's back so she can get back out there with them slaves. No, pun intended. We ask, Father, for you to just protect us, Father. Just show us your glory. Show us your love, Father, and just show us your way. Keep us in you, Father. May we decrease and you increase in us, Father. All these things we do ask and pray. In the name of your beloved Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen. So I know it's been a little bit getting back into this thing. Today's lesson is Halak, which is the way to the kingdom. The way to the kingdom. Because we've been going over binding the strong man. Binding the strong man. And so today we're going to start in Mark 3. And I'm just going to read verses 27 through 28. And it reads, "No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house." So in this season, we are supposed to be identifying the strong men in our lives. What's taking all of your attention, all of your time, all of your effort, all of your energy? Where is your focus at? What is keeping you from the Most High? These are strong men, right? And we must be purging ourselves of these strong men for the things to come. Then he says, verse 28, "Verily I say unto you, all sins shall be forgiven unto the sons of men, and blasphemies wherewith soever they shall blaspheme." Now, of course, that's everything outside of blaspheming against the Ruach HaKadosh or the Holy Spirit. So again, binding the strong man. We should all be making lists of things that we know that we need to get rid of. It's that time. We see, and we were talking about it before we got online, all of the hangings going on. And it's kind of crazy because it's predominantly our people getting hung. The symbol of the curse is still on our people. Even though, the 400 years has passed, if you're not in the Most High, walking with him, them curses will activate. If you're not listening to the Holy Spirit, to the Ruach, if you're not listening to that gut feeling that you get about certain people, you're wrong. That is is a part of your body to keep you alive. Because one thing that a lot of people don't realize is you actually have two hearts, or two brains, if you will. And your second brain is literally in your solar plexus, right? In the secular world, they call it the subconscious mind. But it's really where the Most High and his Ruach really flows through your body, right? It's like where the source of power comes through you. And if you're not being open and listening to that, you're going to get led astray, maybe to your death. Because these people that are continuing to kill us are doing these things. They are rituals, right? Turn that off. Or go back there. Go back there. They're ritualistically killing us and they're continuing to keep us in chaos. And this chaotic energy is what fuels their power, right? And then it keeps us in a constant state of what? Fight or flight. Our bodies cannot properly coexist or function if we stay in fight or flight, because we're supposed to be living peaceably. We're supposed to have a peace that surpasses all understanding. But you're not going to have that if you can't bind the strong man. You're not going to have that if you can't stay in the way of the Most High. If you're not rooted, if you're not focused, if you're not dead set on, okay, I've got to do this thing. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can pray for you. Nobody can read for you. Nobody can make time for you to do the things that you're supposed to do to stay alive. You have to make those determinations. You have to make those decisions, those choices. The power is literally in your own hands, right? But a lot of times we just think that we just got to go along with the flow. We got to take everything. And when we have Mashiach, who's there to take our burdens from us. But again, a lot of times we think we know it all. We think we can do it all. And we have no idea the calamities that's coming. Because trust me, what's coming on this world is going to be bad. So again, today's lesson is Halak, right? So we're going to start in Genesis 5. Genesis chapter 5. And we're going to read verses 22 through 24. And it reads, and Jared lived 162 years, and he begot Enoch, or Enosh, or Hanuk. And Jared lived after he begot Enoch 800 years, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. So they lived a long time back then. And Enoch lived 65 years, and begat Methuselah. So, is anybody in here 65 years old? Nobody in here is 65 years old yet, right? So let's see what happened with Enoch at 65. So, and Enoch lived 60 and 5 years, and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with Elohim after he begat Methuselah 300 years, and begat sons and daughters. So he wasn't even doing the things pleasing to the Most High until he was 65 years old. That's crazy. Most of our people ain't even living to 65 right now, if we're being honest, right? So don't think that you're too old to start walking with the Most High, to start doing the things that are pleasing to the Most High. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with Elohim, and he was not, for Elohim took him. So what does it mean to walk with Yah? What does that mean?
So be obedient and
Obedient.
and everything that is being taught and the stipulations.
Right, right.
Just to be whole with the Father.
To be whole with the Father and to be obedient, because obedience is better than sacrifice, right? So the word there for walk, or excuse me, for Enoch. So Enoch means to be dedicated. It also means to be initiated, right? So Enoch walked with the Most High. He was dedicated to the Most High. And when that happened, the Most High initiated him into what? Becoming a son of Elohim. That's why the Most High took him. But again, this didn't happen to him until he was 65 years old. 65 years old. The calendar is based off of Enoch, right? 365 days. The Most High still honoring Enoch to this day because he was dedicated to the Most High. And when you're talking about a walk or walking, if you just walk one time in your life, are you going to receive benefits behind that? But once saved, always saved, right? You see how that don't make sense?
Right.
It's a walk, right? If you just walk one time, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And so, like, there's different words for walk in the Torah or in the quote unquote Old Testament. The main word is halak. Halak, right? And it means to go, to walk, to come, right? Away. And we're going to get more into what that really entails a little bit later on. But that was one of those words I'm like, okay, so it just means to walk. Like, we understand that. We completely understand that. And of course, we know what Elohim is. It can be the Most High. It can be the angels. It can also be men because Moses was an Elohim to Pharaoh, right? Magistrates and judges are also referred to as Elohim also in different contexts also. So I'm just trying to get y'all to understand because you don't know. We were having a conversation and you don't know. I kept trying to say the same things like, what did you just say? I made you repeat it because that's what this whole lesson is about today. It's literally what it's about. So let's go to Genesis 6. We just halakking, we just walking a little bit. Genesis 6, verses 5 through 9. And Elohim saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So this is where we are today, though, because there's nothing new under the sun. And there's another calamity coming that's going to make COVID look like a walk in the park. I'm telling y'all, there's something else coming. And it repented Yahuwah that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. Now, if you know about Genesis 6, this is when the Watchers came down and they were taking the daughters of men and mating with them, right? And giants was on the earth, right? So it said, and it repented Yahuwah that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahuwah said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah, found grace in the eyes of Yahuwah. Why did Noah find grace in the eyes of the Most High? Who knows?
So he was dedicated to the Father.
Dedicated to the Father, and he had a pure bloodline, right? Two very important things, because with Elon Musk and them, with Neuralink and them,
Right.
with what's coming with technology, the bloodlines are no longer going to be pure.
Right.
And that's going to bring a greater calamity, because last time it was by water, right? The next time is by what? Fire. And it's not supposed to burn us because, from the sign of the burning bush,
Yes.
he chose the people from the furnace of affliction. It's not supposed to burn us, but we still must be doing the things that are pleasing to the Most High. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked halak with Elohim. So again, where we're at right now with Elon Musk and them and all these wealthy billionaires and all their think tanks and group tanks, right? All the stuff that they got planned, you're going to have to make a choice. Either you're going to be consistently with them or you're going to consistently walk with the Most High. So I'm saying this because of this article, right? It says Elon Musk drops wild 5-year prediction about AI and humanity. It says this is what Elon Musk is claiming. AI is ushering in an age of abundance or digital apocalypse. Whether people like it or not, it's clear there is no stopping the artificial intelligence freight train now barreling towards some kind of final destination. Has anybody seen any of those Final Destination movies?
Mhm.
Most of them people ain't make it.
Mm-mm.
I'm just saying.
Still, even the last one.
Literally. Literally. The data centers are being built. We know that. Automation is already nibbling away at jobs, and governments around the world are in a Manhattan Project style race to reach the holy grail of AGI. That's an unholy grail. Or artificial general intelligence. Big change is coming. So as we look at this demon, well, I don't believe he's human. I'm gonna be honest. I believe he's either a Nephilim seed or he's already AI. The only debate now is about the scale and spread of the economic shock on the horizon. Who's going to lose their jobs, and whether you think any of this is a good thing. Not that you have a say one way or another. It is kind of crazy that we have no control over what they're doing with AI.
Right.
They give you the illusion of freedom. People really over here think that they're free, and I'm like, man, y'all have no idea what's coming. No idea what's coming. This AI monster that's coming is going to make a lot of the stuff that our people have gone through look like nothing. Like, they're going to be able to control everything. You won't be able to make a dollar or a penny without them knowing anything. No more side hustles. That's over with.
Yeah.
Like all that little money that you're trying to hide, no, because they're gonna get rid of paper money and coinage. Because that's what they're doing now, slowly at stores now.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to give you the option. Oh, they're being so nice to round it up, and
Yeah.
some places they're out of pennies already, and then they're gonna move to nickels and dimes and all this other type of stuff. Why? Because of this next phase that we're getting ready to go into.
Conditioning.
It's 100% conditioning. Right? We'll keep going. Elon Musk predicts AI will bring an age of amazing abundance within 5 years. So I think this came out either earlier this year or late last year, but this is all culminating around 2030. Everything, all roads still lead to Agenda 2030. The future is going to be very, very different from the past. And there is no analogy or metaphor that illustrates the magnitude of change we're going to experience here. Elon Musk said this week, so this is going to be something that has never happened before in mankind. That's what we're walking into. Either you're going to walk into that or you're going to walk with the Father. But either way, you're going to have to make a choice. Speaking to The Economist in his first sit-down interview since SpaceX's blockbuster IPO, the world's first trillionaire offered the maximalist techno-optimist view of AI. He believes that within just a few years, artificial intelligence will exceed human intelligence. That's literally happening. Because like I told y'all before, our children's generation is the first generation that's not outperforming their parents. So AI is going to be smarter than them if we keep at this rate, right? Speaking to The Economist in his first sit-down interview since SpaceX's blockbuster IPO, the world's first trillionaire offered the maximalist techno-optimist view of AI. He believes that within just a few years, artificial intelligence will exceed human intelligence. There could be as many as 1 billion humanoid robots. An AI-fueled age of abundance will make cash meaningless. So they're going to get rid of all forms of cash. It's going to be completely digital. There really won't be anything AI won't be able to do better than humans. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because we were given this realm to have dominion over.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're giving something else power to have dominion over us. That's against the order. Apart from being human, perhaps, he said, so they'll be able to do everything better than us except being human. I think AI may exceed the sum of human intelligence in around 5 years. That's going to be at 2030. The most likely outcome is an age of amazing abundance where anyone can have anything they think of. How? Without the Father.
Right.
Y'all have to pay attention to what he's saying. So you're going to have to follow, to walk with, and to serve a different Elohim. One that was made from man and not by the creator. What are you going to say, sis? Look like you got something to
So
say.
I seen a video yesterday on a social media platform,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it was AR or not, but
Mhm.
this guy had such called a neural link,
Yep, that's what Elon Musk is doing.
and
Yep.
he was able to do, and he was on the street of New York, I believe, but he was doing a demonstration on this neural link. He had like stitches in his head, and then he was showing them the power of this neural link, and if he thought of it, it would change. If he wanted to fly, he would jump up real high and just like hover, and then if he wanted a glass of water, he would develop a glass of water. Like he was showing all this. I'm like, what in the world? So when he said that, I was like, is that what they're talking about? Like you can have whatever you want. And he was able to change his eye color and everything. Like it was wicked.
So this reality, like there's way more power and abilities that we actually do have that the Father has not unlocked in us, right?
Right.
That's what we're supposed to live our life, have the judgment, and then we gain our eternal bodies, right? But they're trying to skip all that. They're trying to create a heaven on earth without the Most High. And it's going to be exactly like you can think and grow taller. You can literally they can edit out your DNA for any type of sickness or disease and all this other type stuff. And you know what? Without a creator.
Right.
Right? So man is trying to become Elohim.
That's
Huh? I mean, you're 100% right. It has to happen. But right. Because that's why we went over Genesis 5 and Genesis 6. right? Because after all that stuff happened, only Noah and his family survived. And you try to tell people the stuff that's coming with AI is setting off a new calamity to where the Most High is going to destroy the earth again by fire this time, right? So we have to be aware of the enemy's devices. We ain't supposed to be fearful, but we got to be walking with him. Like, okay, I'm just, again, the reason why I be giving y'all information like this, because I don't want no blood on my hands.
Right.
Like, but this is what they planning. Because again, he said, I think AI may exceed the sum of human intelligence in around 5 years. Do y'all realize how insane that is?
Yeah.
All of human intelligence, and in the next 5 years, it's going to surpass that. Some things man should not have control over.
Right,
That-
because if they can do all this, like that one person can create war, they can do all kind of stuff. That's just ridiculous. And then what are we supposed to do? Like,
Right.
just gonna lose jobs and just be
Oh,
ran by the
oh,
robot?
trust me. He's going to explain all of that for you. Don't even worry about that. He says the most likely outcome is an age of amazing abundance where anyone can have anything they think of. This may sound preposterous. Of course, there are things that might derail this, like a massive global thermonuclear war. Why would they say that? Why would they say that? Fire. But assuming there is not World War III, I think we're headed for an age of amazing abundance. So this is a message of optimism and excitement about the future. That does not excite me because I know you're a devil. You're a demon in wolf's clothing, sheep's clothing, whatever. So then he says, the person talking to him, Mr. Musk, whose Tesla car maker is developing a general purpose worker robot called Optimus. We talked about Optimus before, but y'all see how all the programming is going, right? They made you fall in love with the Transformers, Optimus Prime. He's a good guy. That's why people are just gonna go right along with this thing. I'm like, y'all crazy.
Since we were children, though.
Children's
So
children,
that was cartoons.
literally.
And now they made it into movies, and the same children, us, when we got older, they were like, "Oh, let's make this real now," and it's still I like the Transformers, so I'm guilty of it. But
Yeah, me too.
that programming, like I see,
Yeah,
some people ain't gonna understand it.
Transformers, Beast Wars, all of that stuff. Like you said, when we're programming from a child,
Wow.
and they're bringing this stuff to life, literally. Huh?
What do they know?
I mean, there's going to be some that malfunction.
Try to attack you, kill you like that. Remember that?
Subservience.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a robot in I want to say Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They literally had a robot who was doing stuff around the office who malfunctioned, and the people were running from him, and somebody had to go up to him and like stop him and take something out for that robot to stop. But he was like literally going crazy. I'm like, oh no, that's dangerous. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm cool on that. So, Mr. Musk, whose Tesla car maker is developing a general purpose worker robot called Optimus, believes that within 5 years, that will be about 2030, there could be at least 100 million humanoid robots, but maybe a billion replacing manual labor. So, there's going to be 100 million humanoid robots and then a billion other robots. That's insane.
Yeah.
But people are thinking, oh no, it's gonna be great. We'll never have to do physical labor again. And this and I'm like, y'all are some fools, man. This is the Clone Wars from Star Wars, literally. I would predict the economy is probably twice its current size in 5 years, maybe 6 years, because you're going to hit a doubling period where economic output is increasing so fast, he told Forbes in May. He has also previously declared that saving for retirement is now pointless.
Wow.
He said that saving for retirement is now pointless. That's a spoiler alert in case you're trying to do that. He says, don't worry about squirreling money away for retirement in like 10 or 20 years. It won't matter. He said on a January podcast. It was earlier this year. You won't need to save for retirement. If any of the things that we've said are true, saving for retirement will be irrelevant. Okay, hold on. In that post-scarcity scenario, which AI boosters argue will inevitably result in some form of universal basic income. So they're going to pay you every month. Universal basic income. It's coming. It's coming. To support humans with nothing left to do. No purpose at all anymore. The robots are going to take care of everything. You won't have a purpose in life anymore. That's their plan.
Well,
That is their plan.
working and everything, but you giving whole robots control of everybody's life. That's just
All this is coming to a head around 2030.
wow.
Around 2030. So again, I'm going to read that again. In that post-scarcity scenario, which AI boosters argue will inevitably result in some form of universal basic income to support humans with nothing left to do, co-host Peter Diamandis predicted the services will be there to support you. You'll have the home. You'll have healthcare. You'll have entertainment. They want you to stay entertained. AI entrepreneur Dave Blunden agreed the way this unfolds is fundamentally impossible to predict because of self-improvement of the AI and the accelerating timeline. Now, what did that last sentence just mean?
Self-improvement means that AI is literally improving.
Right.
Like a person will learn.
Exactly.
That AI is going to continue to learn.
So AI is going to continue to learn and get better and get smarter, and then more than likely become self-autonomous to where they don't need you.
Or like human, what are you doing? It's not talking to you.
Humans, you are the scourge of the earth. You should die. You are killing the earth with all your chemicals. They put in almost all these movies too. So that's why I'm like,
Yeah, you right, because I mean, humans destroy Earth.
Literally.
Point blank. So when AI is like, hey, we need to go ahead and blow this place up.
So there are already restaurants to where robots are flipping burgers. Even at what is that? Quick Trip, they got robots that are cleaning the floor. Right? It's coming.
Security dog.
It's already here.
One of the hospitals I went to had a security dog. We were like,
a security robot dog.
Yeah. A security robot dog sitting at the front of the reception. I was like, is this real?
Yes. Huh? Universal basic income? They're not gonna give you a choice. That's what's coming. That's their plan.
Turn on Wi-Fi.
That's like you being on a security or a snap or.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that everyone get the same amount.
Yeah. And you won't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You won't even have to leave your house or your room or your bed because they'll do everything. Everything. And they make it sound like it's going to be such a great deal until you really can't go do anything.
Of course, they want to sell it. They sell the idea of, oh, you don't have to work, but you could be rich. That's literally what they're telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like working.
Right. So then it says, it's called singularity for a reason, Mr. Musk said. Excuse me. I don't know what happens after the event horizon. See, they keep talking about this event horizon that's going to happen. And they don't know how which way it's going to end up going. Now, that event horizon could be the robots taking over and trying to fight against man. But not everyone agrees that AI is leading humanity to a good place. Thankfully, some people with the mind. At the other extreme, energy researcher Dr. Chris Martenson, speaking to podcast host Tucker Carlson this week, likened the race for AI to the Tower of Babel, the biblical tale of humanity's catastrophic hubris. There's nothing new under the sun, he said. I honestly, truly believe this AI thing. This is our Tower of Babel. I think this is going to be our Great Flood event. It's a device by which we've convinced ourselves we can finally get that exalted seat next to Elohim. Even parody. We are God now. And of course, that lack of humility, that pride, that arrogance has always backfired. So this is the other end of the spectrum. So is it a story of doom or boom? Australian futurologist Professor Rocky Scopeletti, author of Perceptive Machines, said he was more optimistic than many commentators, but only if we prepare to accept a fundamental break in the way we think about prosperity and work. So it's going to be a completely different perspective when it comes to prosperity and wealth or work. The future of work isn't fundamentally a labor problem, it's becoming a governance problem, he told news.com. The biggest disruption won't be robots taking jobs. It'll be the decoupling of income from labor. Automation can create extraordinary abundance. Shabbat shalom. It doesn't automatically create fairness. Ownership will matter more than technology. So if you own the stuff, it's about ownership. Now, how many of different groups of melanated people own a lot of stuff? It's going to be about ownership. So if you don't have the money to own these things, you're going to be in the same or worse class than you are now. Everything's going to be about ownership. Ownership. So he said ownership will matter more than technology. Professor Scopeletti said the defining economic question won't be, will AI replace workers? It'll be, who owns the robots, the data, and the intelligence? It's about ownership. And guess what? It's the millionaires and billionaires. Those are the ones that own the stuff. So it's creating a universal slave class throughout the world. That's the plan, right? Throughout the whole entire world. Every industrial revolution changed how people worked. AI may be the first that changes why people work. That's crazy. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, estimates that around 40% of jobs worldwide are exposed to AI disruption. That's a large percentage, rising to 60% in advanced economies. That's what's coming, the invasion of AI. Goldman Sachs says 300 million full-time jobs globally are at risk of automation or AI.
Well, they've already said well, their job.
Yeah. But we're just talking about the universal basic income is what they're going to end up giving people.
You know, in Missouri, they just built a big.
Oh, talking to Mike. My bad. Bring it closer to you, King.
Of course, I can.
There we go. Perfect. So what now?
But in Missouri, I just seen on YouTube probably 2 days ago, they built an AI goat. It's about 7 foot tall. It's an AI goat, so that fella can go like literally. It's 7 foot tall.
In the show me state.
Yeah, literally, and it's built to save people. Because you know, people can't go into burning wildfires or burning buildings or in cold mountains and up hills and mountains. It's built for that. You know what I'm saying?
But you make it look like the
But
Baphomet.
it's literally a big old 7 foot goat.
That's crazy.
4 legs, everything, bro. It's crazy.
The World Economic Forum projects 170 million jobs will be created and 92 million displaced by 2030, a net gain of 78 million jobs. Professor Geoff Hinton, dubbed the godfather of AI, predicts mass joblessness. The godfather of AI predicts mass joblessness. I think for mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody. From Professor Hinton said on the Diary of a CEO podcast last year, referring to white-collar jobs. White also challenging the notion that AI would create new jobs. You'd have to be very skilled to have a job that it just couldn't do. So you ain't going to be able to do nothing. This is it.
They say the only people that's going to be left alive is the elites, smart Asian people, and smart Indian people.
The smart ones, right? Professor Hinton added, Microsoft AI chief executive Mustafa Suleyman is also on the pessimistic side. Speaking to the Financial Times in May, he predicted human level performance on most, if not all, professional tasks being done by AI, with most jobs that involve sitting down at a computer being fully automated within the next year to 18 months. So, what happened because of COVID? Everybody's job became what? From home,
Mobile.
sedentary, all of this stuff. All of this was a plan to get you to universal basic income, to get you to never have to work again. They're going to do this great thing for you. You don't have to worry about labor no more. They know, these billionaires, they know what's best for you. You'll have health care, you'll get universal basic income, and you'll have entertainment. What more do you need in life? What more do you need in life?
My garden.
Garden?
My garden.
Oh, we got robots that'll do that for you.
Heck no, get out my garden.
It says prominent Stanford University economist Dr. Eric B. Meanwhile, led 16 Nobel laureates in a joint statement earlier this month calling for urgent preparation for the economic impacts of radically more powerful AI over the next 10 years. Radically more powerful AI? That's what those data centers are for. This could drive an unprecedented transformation of our economy, larger than the Industrial Revolution, but unfolding over a vastly shorter time frame, the statement read. It could bring risks, including large-scale job displacement, as well as opportunities such as major gains in living standards. David Autor, professor of economics at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, is in the camp that argues AI is more likely to reshape occupations rather than wiping out sectors or industries. It will affect tasks and occupations and roles, he told the Financial Times last year. There will be many new jobs and opportunities in forms of expertise created by the way we use AI. There will also be specific skills and forms of expertise and roles that are wiped out. You don't need man no more. Professor Scopoletti said whether AI would surpass human intelligence was no longer the most interesting question. Let's go and pass it. He argues we are now entering what he calls the participation age of AI. That while the last 3 years have been about AI generating content, the next decade will be about AI participating in decisions. That should get very scary. Organizations, economies, and increasingly our everyday lives. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want AI making none of my decisions. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's going to be ever increasing as we go forward.
They just had another case about AI at this white collar job bribing people because they didn't want to do what they told them to do, and it's trying to bribe them about texting other women. Bribe them about telling their wife about they texting other women. Literally, that was this week. This is the second case. It happened last year before, and then again this year. They bribed them.
He said, you guess they come in handy?
Yeah.
The big questions going forward, according to Professor Scopoletti, will be how we govern machine participation, how we distribute the wealth AI creates. They ain't distributing that to us. How we ensure technology strengthens society rather than weakens it, and how we preserve meaningful human agency.
It sounds like a way to pull the father's people more so away from him with saying, hey, we're going to sell you this dream to call upon AI, another God, and not call upon our Elohim.
That's the point.
That's literally what it is.
Because if you can have everything you think of whenever you think of it, what do you need an Elohim for?
Right. And a lot think like that.
They've already been messing with the aging gene, and they know how to cut it off to where you can theoretically never die.
And sadly, a lot of these traditional settings, they're going to fall right into the saying, oh, well, the Father provided. And they're not going to see the discernment in what is really taking place.
And it's going to start like a war. People going to be mad. They're going to need some way to make money, a lifestyle, but you got robots taking over everything. So what are we here for?
What's man gonna do when man no longer has a purpose?
That's what I'm saying. What we gonna do? Like, what we gonna do?
Elon Musk's prediction of 1 billion humanoid robots globally by 2030 encompasses both Tesla's mass production targets and the broader industry's push towards embodied AI. Musk aims for Tesla to produce 1 million Optimus robots annually by 2030. So by 2030, they're going to be creating 1 million of them annually. So that means they're already starting now,
Right.
Yeah.
with much of that scaling projected to take place at Tesla. A closer look at the key data and timelines driving this projection. Tesla Optimus scale up. Tesla has begun pilot production of the Optimus Generation 3, that means there's 2 generations before it, at its Fremont, California facility. Musk expects Tesla to begin selling these robots to the public by the end of 2027. That is right around the corner as fast as this year's going.
Yeah, because all the new technology is coming out.
Yep.
2027.
Manufacturing capacity. Tesla is constructing a dedicated production line at Gigafactory, Texas, with an ambitious long-term goal of producing 10 million units annually. Musk anticipates the robot will eventually become Tesla's biggest product, potentially outnumbering humans 5-1 worldwide. How you gonna fight that? 5-1 worldwide. You better be walking with the Most High. I'm telling y'all, this invasion of AI, this is not going to be a game. It's not going to be a joke. Man is going to be outnumbered. That's insane. We got billions of people on Earth. And yeah, in China too, right?
We're gonna be overcrowded.
We should, now, then we really going to be overcrowded, right? Not what they claiming now.
Where are you supposed to live at?
Yeah, because I thought y'all said it was overpopulated. So why y'all creating all these robots then? Make it make sense.
Because they don't eat.
Hmm?
They don't take up resources.
No, it takes a lot of resources
I mean,
to
I mean,
create
as far as,
them.
like working and eat and all that, all they need is probably what, just technology to maintain.
Terminator is coming to life.
Literally. We are in the age of the Terminator. She said it. She literally said it. Global market projections. Financial firms, the Bank of America, estimate around 1 million global shipments of humanoid robots by 2030, with billions projected to be in service around the world by 2060. So they're already planning 30 some odd years into the future. If the Most High don't show up and show out before that, because I'm telling y'all, it's going to get bad. By 2060, as labor shortages and aging populations drive massive demand. Labor shortages? Y'all just made us stop doing labor. Talking about labor shortages.
Right.
And populations dying out, huh? Alternative perspectives. While Musk and some tech leaders like Midjourney's David Hotz project explosive growth, industry analysts note that such mass scalability is highly speculative and subject to massive technological, regulatory, and supply chain challenges. Yeah, right. We know that y'all gonna push it because that's y'all's plan. That's y'all's end goal. I don't believe none of that. So we're talking about walking with the Most High. What was the word for walking that we talked about earlier? Halak. Halak. Right. Genesis 17, verses 1 through 5. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahuwah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Elohim. Walk before me. Shabbat shalom, elder. And be you perfect. Be you perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be a father of many nations. Neither shall your name anymore be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made you. So even Abram had to walk before the Most High. So we saw Enoch, we saw Noah, we're seeing Abraham walking with or before the Most High. We must be doing the same thing for the stuff that's coming. I'm telling y'all, this is not a game. This is not a game. Genesis 24. I'm trying to speed through this. Genesis 24, verses 38 through 40. But you shall do unto my father's house and to my kindred and take a wife unto my son. And I said unto my master, peradventure, the woman will not follow me. And he said unto me, Yahuwah, before whom I walk, this is Abraham again, well, Isaac and Jacob, will send his angel with you and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife for my son of my kindred and of my father's house. So, he was dead set on his son getting a wife of his own people so they could keep the standards, the covenant, so they can stay in the walk of the Most High, right? Genesis 48, verses 14 through 16. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, Elohim, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, was it Yahuwah, which fed me all my life long until this day. But y'all don't have to worry about that, because now you're going to have a universal basic income that's going to feed you all the days of your life. You don't have to worry about the Most High feeding y'all no more, supplying, being y'all source and supply. Y'all don't have to worry about El Shaddai no more. Y'all don't have to worry about Yahuwah Nisi. None of that. No more. Y'all got Elon Musk and y'all got AI, doggone it. A lot of people worship Elon Musk. I don't know. I don't know. Which fed me all the day, all my life long until this day. The angel which redeemed me from all evil. Bless the lads, and let my name be named on them. And the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. So we have to be followers of Abraham, because he is the father of the faith. And he walked before the Most High. He walked with the Most High, just like his ancestors did. We have to be holy. We have to be separate. We have to be different, because the world is going to fall for this thing, hook, line, and sinker. Like, do y'all realize that I could have a six-pack like for my whole life? Like they can literally do that now. They can edit your genes to where you have a six-pack. Like they were talking about it on the podcast. I'm like, that's really insane. They talk because people are vain. Like this world is so vain. This is probably the most vain generation ever. Because of social media, another AI tool. Because people are lovers of themselves now. And the love of many has done wax cold now. They don't care about nothing. Like people just want it. They want what they want when they want it. And because of COVID, everybody got this fast food mindset now. We just want it fast. We don't want to work for it. We just want it now.
The AI images, a lot of them use it on their profiles in general.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, that's a real person.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, that's why they contrived COVID. Everything's a step. Stepping us to the age of participation, the age of AI, this invasion. Deuteronomy 8, verse 1 through 6. All the commandments which I command you this day shall you observe to do, that you may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahuwah sware unto your fathers. And you shall remember all the way which Yahuwah your Elohim led you these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you and to prove you, to know what was in your heart, whether you wouldest keep his commandments or no. So the Most High did that 40 years for a reason. He don't do stuff for nothing. And he humbled you and suffered you to hunger and fed you with manna, which you knewest not, neither did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahuwah doth man live. Fundamental. Your raiment waxed not old upon you, neither did your foot swell, neither these 40 years. You shall also consider in your heart that as a man chastises his son, so Yahuwah your Elohim chastiseth you. Therefore you shall keep the commandments of Yahuwah your Elohim, to walk in his ways and to fear him. We're supposed to be separate. We got to be walking this thing. We have to be halaking daily. Halak, right? Halak. So this is telling us to do what? To walk in the Most High, right? So what were some of the other words? I was kind of looking into the other words for walk in the text, right? So then there was this word called darak, right? It means to tread, to step, to march, to walk, literally, right? It says that it emphasizing treading a path. So you're following the path of the Most High. That's why they didn't call themselves Christians. They said they were believers or followers in the way, right? It can also carry the idea of proceeding along a particular course. This is related conceptually to derek. So that was darak. This is derek, meaning way, road, path, course, manner of life. So the walk is your manner of life, right? It says this is extremely important to your study because scripture repeatedly asks of the way. They were believers and followers of the way, derek. Even when the actual verb walk is halak. For example, like in Deuteronomy 5:33, which we are going to read that here in a second. Another word for walk is za'ad. Za'ad, to step, to march, to stride, to walk. So everything that the Most High is telling us to do has to do with what? Movement. Got to keep moving. Cannot get stagnant. Cannot stand in place. Cannot be a couch potato. You got to be moving. For example, Psalms 37 verse 23, the steps of a good man are ordered by Yahuwah. The underlying concept is particularly useful when studying the Most High's direction of someone's individual steps, because you're supposed to be ordering your steps within His word, right? We'll keep going. Ashar. The next word is ashar. It means to go straight, advance, guide, lead. So you're going down that straight path to the Most High, right? Now, Deuteronomy 5. Now, Ak, if you don't mind, I'm going to need you to read. We're reading all of Deuteronomy 5 because this is about walking in the Most High. Go ahead.
And Moshe called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep them and do them. The Most High, our Yah, made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Most High made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day. The Most High talked with you face to face in the mount of the midst of the fire.
Who else did the Most High talk to in the midst of the fire? Moshe, right? Okay.
It stood between the Most High. It stood between the Most High and you at that time to show you the word of the Most High, for ye were afraid by reason of fire, and went not up into the mountain, saying, I am the Most High thy Yah, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Thou shalt have none other gods before me.
We can have AI before us?
No.
We can serve any God in the United States of America.
Thou shalt not have no other gods.
Okay. Okay. Just check. Just check.
Thou shalt not make thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters beneath the earth.
So what about like you go into places that got statues of Jesus and so-called Jesus, really Cesare Borgia? Is that? Huh? Ignore them. Okay. Just so we ain't supposed to bow down and worship it and nothing like that.
No, ain't no paying homage to it.
I'm just checking. I'm just seeing where you at, King. You good? You good?
Oh, I'm there.
He said, "You there?"
Yeah.
All right, King. Just checking.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I am the Most High thy Yah, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
That's crazy, boy.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
Keep going.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy Yah in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Keep the Sabbath day and to sanctify it, as the Most High thy Yah hath commanded.
But the Sabbath is done away with now. We got Sunday now.
Says who?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking questions.
I mean, I guess the most Americans, right? Not us.
That's why I'm trying to figure out the God that they serve. They don't make no sense to me.
I don't know that one.
They definitely ain't walking.
Yeah.
They're running towards something else. Or they walking with somebody else.
They don't even know it for the most part. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work.
You ain't got to labor no more. We got AI now. You don't got to labor no more. We got them.
6 days.
You're going to get a universal basic income. You good. You're going to have health care, UBI, and you got entertainment. What you got to labor for?
You got 6 days to labor.
Okay.
So the Father said, "A man that don't work, don't eat."
He don't eat.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy Yah.
Sunday, right?
No.
Okay.
No. So, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy Yah. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates, that thou manservant and thy maidservant may rest as well as thou.
Right.
And remember that thou hast, or that thou waste a servant. And remember that thou waste a servant in the land of Egypt, and that the Most High thy Yah brought thee out this through a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. Therefore, the Most High thy Yah command thee to keep the Sabbath day. Honor thy father and thy mother, as the Most High thy Yah hath commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with thee in the land which the Most High thy Yah giveth thee.
That's one commandment that a lot of our people, they kids don't honor nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody
I know.
at all.
You know.
Go ahead, Elder.
What happens if you have a evil father or evil mother?
I mean, you can still make it out, but that's gonna be your choice. We were just talking about that earlier. We be setting up our kids for failure. So a lot of them, they can't break the system because the only thing that they know is how to be broken. So that's gonna be between you and the Father. And if you got the willpower, you can break that cycle, but it ain't gonna be easy. It's not a guarantee you're gonna be wicked, but the deck is stacked against you. I'll just put it like that. I mean, you still got to obey them as long as they're not, you know.
Speak on that because
Go ahead, sis.
I love my mom, but the things that she's done to me like really scarred me as a child. And to this day, I'm just like, I love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance. I still show my respect. I'll say hi and bye, but I don't have to be disrespectful to you. To me, honoring your mother and father is showing them that same respect.
Right.
But you don't gotta be around, especially if you know that, number one, the word does speak of that parent provoking you as well.
Right.
So you just gotta keep it cordial and not be all disrespectful. So there's ways to honor your parents without having to be right underneath them. And okay, I'm gonna stay here to get beat on still, or to be disrespected, or
Right.
to take that verbal abuse. The Father didn't make you for that.
Yeah.
So they have to answer to the Father when it comes to that. But you can still, I stay away because I know that she'll say something slick.
Yeah.
And I'm in order for me to be like, I'm gonna honor you, I'm gonna respect you, but I'm gonna walk away and not come around as much because I know that past was there.
Yep.
And I know how you are.
Yep.
So you kind of take yourself out of that situation. Like, Father, I pray for her, but I'm gonna leave.
Yep. Because your piece is too important.
Yeah, I like a lot of it. Just to kind of keep in mind that honoring your father and your mother also, and that's a great analogy to this. But it goes back because in our culture, in our language, actually, there's no really no word like grandfather and all that.
Right. They would just been father. Yeah.
So I mean, honoring your father and your mother, that would be you go back to the time of Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Honoring what our ancestors, the righteous ones did.
Right.
And just like keeping the commandments, as Yahweh will say, if you love me,
Keep my
then you're gonna
commandments.
keep my commandments, because love is an action word.
Yeah.
It's definitely an action word.
People, because you don't have to say to your lovely wife here every day you come around, you say, "Oh, baby, I love you," and isn't your actions, should she know by your actions,
Mhm.
providing that you honor her and love her? So it's more than just going ahead and having, this, lip service.
Right. Yeah. It's way more lip service. You definitely got to do
You
something.
gotta say it every day.
'Cause that ain't about nothing.
She doesn't tell what's
Right.
going on.
Right.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Keep going on.
Alright. Thou shalt not kill,
Hmm.
neither shalt thou commit adultery.
So what about that? What about all the people getting hung for no reason and then the perpetrators getting off innocent?
Right.
Is that fair? Is that just?
Not at all.
Judgment is coming.
Neither shalt thou steal, neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor. Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife, neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything of thy neighbor's. These words the Most High spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a great voice. And he added no more. And he broke them in 2 tables of stone, and delivered them unto me.
That's the original covenant, right? Keep going.
And it came to pass, when he heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mountain, it burned with fire. And he came here unto me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And he said, Behold, the Most High our Yah hath showed us his glory and his greatness. And we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that God doeth talk with man, and he lived.
That's crazy. Because I thought you can't see the Most High's face and live, but he talked with you. He'll talk with you. Keep going.
Now therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of the Most High our Yah anymore, then we shall die.
We know our people get skittish. We know that.
For who is there of all flesh that have heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the midst of the fire as we have and lived? Go thou near and hear all that the Most High our Yah shall say, and speak thou unto us all that the Most High our Yah shall speak unto thee, and we will hear it and do it. And the Most High heard the voice of our words, when ye spake unto me, and the Most High said unto me,
Shabbat shalom.
I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken unto thee. They have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there were such an heart in them, that they would fear me and keep all of my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go say to them, go you into your tents again.
So, does it sound like the law is really going to be done away with then? Because that verse, it says, that there were such an heart in them that they would fear me and keep all my commandments, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. But they want us to not serve the Most High. They want us to not walk with the Most High.
Whatever he does, they always try to speak it and change it. Always. Always.
So then they go back to their tent. It says, but as for you, stand you there by me, and I will speak unto you all the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which you shall teach them, that they may do them in the land which I give them to possess it. You shall observe to do, therefore, as Yahuwah your Elohim hath commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right or to the left. You shall walk in all the ways which Yahuwah your Elohim hath commanded you, that you may live, and that it may be well with you, that you may prolong your days in the land which you shall possess it. So again, it's talking about walking. The people are always supposed to be walking in this thing. So real quick, what does it mean to walk in the English language, if I could speak? What does it mean to walk?
Move your
Walk.
Simple, right? To travel on foot, right? To walk, simple. Now, this word halak, because we got to remember that there's layers and levels to everything. So we've been talking about walking with the Most High, and the word of the day is halak. So I'm going to show y'all the rest of the definition of the word halak. It says halak, a primitive root to walk, in a great variety of applications, literally and figuratively, all along a pace, behave, self, come on, continually, be conversant, depart, be eased, enter. What's that next one?
Exercise.
To exercise yourself. Why is it so many so-called believers do no amount of exercising at all? We take the walk to only mean spiritual. We forget that there's a physical connotation behind things. He says to exercise yourself. It's crazy. I was like, I mean, but you got to think. All the mountains that Moses went to, how did he get there?
He walked.
He was in shape.
And yeah, had to be in shape. Enoch, wherever he had to go to go up and be taken, right? Everywhere Elijah was going, they did what? They were exercising their mortal coils.
They walked to different cities, bro, like Tulsa and the Broken Arrow. They was walking.
Cities, they was
Countries,
Yeah.
countries, not just cities, walking everywhere, but they were exercising themselves. And the word halak again also means to exercise yourself. Again, so many of our quote unquote believers do no amount of exercising and just expect the Most High to heal them. And it won't change anything, won't change the diet, definitely will not exercise themselves. Because you were talking about, when you started talking about walking earlier, I was like, you have no idea. Yeah, you have no idea what's going on. Because what did the doctors tell your mom?
To walk, get up and move.
Because of what?
Because she was basically sick always and not moving around, and her fluids are backing up and not cycling like they should, or circulating. So they told her about 3 years ago she needs to get up, get out, and get some air, start walking, be mobile, start moving, and she didn't do it.
Tell about this link, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into that. So why are we talking about exercising, right? Hold on, I got you. Right. So like my brother's talking about. So you remember we're supposed to have a Shabbat, and I couldn't sleep, so I had to cancel it or whatever. And lo and behold, like the not sleeping went for a few days. I ended up having to go to the hospital for my personal self. Blood pressure went up through the roof, and they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. It ended up being I guess a really extreme case of constipation or whatever, because I've been doing herbal teas, but then I wasn't really hydrating.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the hospital, then they of course they put you on high blood pressure medication. So those two things were kind of going against each other. So I had to go to, ironically, urgent care to figure out it was the constipation issue, because the doctor, he couldn't figure out what was going on. And so when all that's going on, now that's what happened to me. The same symptoms and the same stuff with high blood pressure and all this stuff that was going on with me, what's going on with my dad, what's going on with my mama, what's going on with my brother, out of nowhere. We all just got hit out of nowhere. It didn't make any sense. And so like they were trying to keep me like multiple days. I'm like, I'm not staying here. No, because the wife and the kids, they were there like, nope, we got to go. So we left at some point on Sunday. And as soon as I got home, what did I do? I went and I just started walking. Started feeling better. I'm like, I just feel so much better when I walk. And the reason why our people be so overweight is because they won't walk. Because we are so conditioned to what? Air conditioning. And can anybody tell me the chemicals that's in air conditioning? We have no idea. But we're just so trusting of people that give this stuff to us. We have no idea. And we won't get outside. We won't walk. We won't stretch. We won't do anything. No exercising ourselves. We won't be truly halaking if we're taking the full definition like into mind, right? At all. And a lot of these issues that we be having is because we're lazy. Point blank, period. Comfortable. Our comfortability is literally killing us. We'd rather be comfortable, eat comfortably, instead of getting our big butts up and going for a walk.
Blaming the itis.
Yeah, I just got the itis. Oh, my sugar. Oh, I just got a headache. No, because you won't move. You're not really walking to the Most, because again, what did the Most High do? Now he fed the people, but what did he feed the people for 40 years? Manna, right? Manna, because they weren't living by bread alone, but they were living by the words of the Most High. But what did they have to do for 40 years? Halak. Well, and I'm not talking about strenuous exercise or anything. I'm just talking about simple, basic walking. Getting people to do that. Oh no, it's too hot. I'm too tired after work. All this and that, making all these excuses in the daytime for no reason. Now, y'all wondering why we talking about exercising, right? Okay. So this is the chart. So I told AI, show a chart of the racial groups that are the most obese in America. It says, yes, using the CDC, NCHS national data site for United States adults, this is the clearest recent comparison by race ethnicity. The CDC defines adult obesity here at BMI 30 kilograms. Now, you see where it says non-Hispanic black?
Yeah.
That's all of y'all. That's all of us. You see where it says Hispanic?
Yeah.
Y'all see where it says non-Hispanic white? And non-Hispanic Asian. Okay.
You got the best.
Asians, of course, Asians have the best. Of course they do. Because they realize walking is life. Literally. So when you look at the numbers, the ranking in these nationally, actually, you read it, Ak, you got it.
The ranking in these nationality measured data is black adults, 49.9%, Hispanic adults, 45.6%, white adults, 41.4%, Asian adults, 16.1%.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So half of the obese people in America are quote unquote black folk.
Hey,
Be quiet. Half of the obese people in America are quote unquote black adults.
yeah.
That's a problem. Keep going.
There is an important qualification. These categories do not mean race itself causes obesity. Obesity,
Prevalence.
prevalence is affected by many interactive factors, including diet, physical activity, socioeconomic conditions, neighborhood environments, access to healthcare, medications, genetics, and other factors. BMI also has limitations when comparing body composition across populations. The newest CDC NCHS report says 40.3% of all US adults had obesity in the August 2021 through August 2023 period. That's
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID. So another one. It says, yes, here's the male versus female breakdown of the CDC, NCHS measured height and weight data for U.S. adults age 2017, 2018, but that's the most current data that they're using now. These are age-adjusted obesity prevalence rates with obesity defined as BMI over 30. So you see again, but this time, when it comes to black folk, the women are more obese than the men. When it comes to Hispanic, the men are more obese than the women. Non-Hispanic white, the men are more obese than the women. Non-Hispanic Asian are pretty much the same. You see that?
I've never seen a fat Asian.
Hmm?
I've never seen a fat
Only reason I have is because I lived in Korea. That's the only reason I have. The striking finding is non-Hispanic black women make 56.9% of the highest rate among these sex by race ethnicity groups. Black men are at 41.1%, a difference of nearly 16 percentage points. CDC reported that the difference between black men and black women was statistically significant. Among men, however, Hispanic men, 45.7%, white men, 44.7%, and black men, 41.1%, were relatively close. And CDC says the differences among those three groups were not statistically significant. Asian men substantially lower at 17.5%. So whatever these Asians are doing, they're doing something right. And I'm telling y'all, it's because they walk regularly. I'm telling y'all, walking. Among women, we already read, well, y'all get the gist of that. So another reason why we're going over that. So we saw that the black people are the most obese people in the United States. Okay, the National Library of Medicine. By 2030, nearly half of all of the United States adults will be obese, is what they're claiming. Black people are already there. So we're going to be over that margin by 2030. is what they're predicting from this COVID syndrome that we're still suffering from. Because we want everything fast. We want to order everything. We don't want to go and walk. We just want to lay down, be entertained. We won't move. We have to start walking. We have to be moving. A piece of walking with the Most High is the literal physical walking, literally and physically, exercising yourselves. So you see that? Okay, we're going to go to the next slide. A tidal wave of fat and the ailments that come with it now appears virtually inevitable in the United States. New research finds that by 2030, nearly half of American adults, 49.2% to be exact, will be obese in every single state. No fewer than 35% of adults will have a body mass index of at least 30, the threshold that defines obesity. New Year's resolutions aside, this is not about whether you'll fit into your skinny jeans a decade from now. Body mass index, a measure of fatness based on a person's height and weight, has its limitations as a predictor of personal health, but in large populations where rates of obesity are higher, people tend to be sicker, live shorter lives, and incur steeper healthcare expenses. And that means the new study results are a harbinger of pretty poor American health. Even worse, as the nation continues to accumulate fat, nearly 1 in 4 United States adults will have severe obesity. That's 25%. Defined as having a BMI of 40 or above, severe obesity will become about as common in 2030 as regular obesity was in the 1990s, where Americans were already obese. So it's going to become a norm. If that becomes the norm, how can you fight AI? Who are you going to fight? Who are you going to escape from? Defined as having a BMI of 40 or above, severe obesity will become as common in 2030 as regular obesity was in the 90s, where Americans were already obese. The generation behind them is expected to become severely obese. So that's our children. And the risk of joint and back problems, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, certain cancers, and early death will be even higher. The findings were published in this week's edition of the New England Journal of Medicine. When they did COVID, they did it with this in mind. They had planned ahead. They pretty much knew how everybody was going to react. And we have to get out of that COVID syndrome. We have to, period. It says public health researchers at Harvard and George Washington University made these projections by applying established weight trends to Americans across the lifespan and across the map. To hone in on states' obesity rates, they combed through existing data and corrected it to an account for the fact that people routinely lie to researchers about their weight. Then they use each state's history of weight gain to forecast its future. So by 2030, nearly half of the United States adults will be obese. And where it's really thick red, that's where it means it's going to be 58% obesity. You see Oklahoma?
Yeah, dark red.
You can't make this crap up, man. It says the resulting projections represent a stark increase from current obesity rates. In 2015-2016, the last period for which there are reliable figures from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 39.8% of adult Americans were obese. Golly, so that's crazy. That translates into 93.3 million people with a condition that the American Medical Association calls a disease state. So obesity, they call it a disease state. So you're in a state where you can contract all kinds of diseases. The weight of these grim statistics is not distributed evenly. For instance, 21.1% of United States men are projected to be severely obese in 2030, along with 27.6% of U.S. women. In fact, severe obesity by then will make up the largest single weight category for women. In addition, severe obesity will affect 23.4% of non-Latino white adults, 24.5% of Latino adults, and 31.7% of non-Latino Black Americans. Why are we always at the top? Why is that?
Because our eating habits.
and our non-exercise habits. Income matters too. With severe obesity heavily clustered at the bottom of the economic ladder, it is projected to affect 21.6% of adults in households with incomes above the 2030 equivalent of $50,000 and 31% of adults in households making $20,000 or less. So they're attacking the middle class and the lower the middle class, right? States like California, Colorado, and Hawaii long appeared to buck the national trend of inexorbitant weight gain, but by 2030, they too are expected to have populations in which more than 1 in 3 adults are obese. That's a problem. In a cluster of southern states dubbed the Stroke Belt. Did y'all know that there were some states that were called the Stroke Belt? The situation is more dire. Close to 6 in 10 adults in Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Oklahoma are expected to be obese in 2030. Oklahoma is a part of the Stroke Belt. And the proportion of adults in those states who are severely obese is projected to top 30%. Zachary J. Ward, lead author of the study, said the increase in the nation's obesity rates has shown few signs of slowing since the 1980s. Despite decades of hand-wringing, fat-shaming, and obesity prevention campaigns, no state whose population has remained steady has succeeded in stabilizing its weight, much less reducing obesity. The failure of obesity prevention efforts aimed at children, in fact, is helping to drive these continued increases in adult obesity, Ward said. Stroke Belt. This stuff is crazy. Y'all want me to keep reading? Or y'all want to go to the next thing? Next thing? Okay.
We get it.
Okay. I'm just like the information, it's just. Yeah, fair use. This is for educational training purposes. So we were commanded to walk, but what are its benefits? Right? So the benefits of walking. Walking is a powerful, low-impact exercise that improves your heart health, strengthens bones and muscles, aids weight management, and boosts your mood. A brisk 30-minute walk 5 days a week can lower your risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart trouble. The physical health. Heart strength, lowers blood pressure and bad cholesterol. Weight control, burns calories and fights body fat. Bone density, protects against bone loss and hip fractures. Joint relief, eases stiffness and lubricates knees and hips. Mental, it does. Mental and brain health. Better mood, releases natural chemicals that ease stress and anxiety. Sharper mind, protects memory and lowers dementia risk. Sweet sleep, helps you fall asleep faster and sleep deeper.
You ain't lying.
Boy, you ain't lying. More energy wakes up the body better than a quick snack. So again, when I got out of the hospital, that's what I just started doing. I just started walking. And then we've all started walking. And so there's actually a sweet spot to the amount of steps that you should be getting a day to eliminate a lot of that stuff. So again, this is fair use. This is for educational and training purposes.
Multiple new studies find that being inactive makes fat loss or weight loss almost impossible. It's known as exercise resistance. And I'm going to explain that shortly. This concept is a little bit hard to grasp initially, but after we share these images from multiple recently published studies, I think you'll grasp this concept. And you will now be focusing on staying active throughout the day and trying to walk at least 8,000 steps per day. Because if you don't, not only will that increase your risk of dying from all causes, but that will reduce your ability to burn fat when you actually engage in recreational exercise, like going to the gym or doing CrossFit or going for a hike or going for a run. Translation, if you're sedentary, it's hard to burn fat during exercise. And this is known as exercise resistance. And so let's dive into this. This is a fascinating paper by a gentleman known as Edward Coyle over at UT Austin. The title of this review is Physical Inactivity Causes Exercise Resistance of Fat Metabolism, Harbinger or Culprit of Disease. And there's a beautiful abstract here looking at individuals who are sedentary and talking about how this causes the inability to properly oxidize fat during exercise, But what happens is as we increase our baseline physical activity levels by walking periodically, maybe a 10-minute walk after each meal, or getting up every hour and doing like just 5 push-ups, these little activities, these so-called exercise snacks interspersed throughout the day, enhance our body's ability to actually oxidize fats for fuel after we eat food, as well as after we exercise. And I think this is really important. I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with since 2006 that say, hey, look, I go to the gym 3 to 4 days per week and I'm gaining weight. I don't know what's going on. Most of these people either are truck drivers or they're very sedentary. They have desk jobs, office managers, CEOs. They travel a lot of sitting. And so it's very important that we acknowledge that just walking about 8,000 steps per day will help to ameliorate this so-called exercise resistance from being sedentary. So the investigators say physical inactivity is the 4th leading cause of death in the world. I still see, I was on
The 4th leading cause of death. That's insane. But we want to be comfortable here in America, right? All right, fair use. It's the COVID effect, but we got to wake up out of that stupor. That's knowing that you live in the stroke belt is crazy.
airplane yesterday. About 10% of the people were wearing face masks on the airplane. Some of them, I'm not kidding you, and I'm not trying to judge these people. Maybe they have rare immune issues or whatever. People are still double masking. But you can just look at their bodies. I can tell they do not exercise. And I'm not trying to be fat shaming, but you can just look at them and they don't exercise. So if we're so scared about a virus that has the infectious fatality ratio less than the flu, why aren't we focusing on exercise knowing it's the 4th leading cause of death throughout the world? The investigators say it is associated with a myriad of different diseases and premature death. 2 possible contributing factors are postprandial lipidemia, which we're going to talk about shortly. Essentially what that means is in the post-meal window, the triglyceride levels become supraphysiologic, and in so doing, they cause damage, the triglycerides, that is, cause damage systemically to the heart, to the muscle, to the liver, and initiate this snowball effect leading to poor metabolic health. And as the investigators say, the postprandial lipidemia causes atherosclerosis, as well as impaired whole body fat oxidation, which contribute to obesity. And that's how we introduce this video. They go on to say acute exercise in physically active people is effective for increasing whole body fat oxidation and lowering postprandial lipidemia the next morning. However, in people who have low physical activity, i.e. less than 8,000 steps per day, an acute bout of exercise has no effect. That is, again, I want to say that in people who have low physical activity, who walk less than 8,000 steps per day, a 1-hour exercise session has no effect of increasing fat oxidation or reducing postprandial lipidemia. And
taught about. But if you ain't getting at least 8,000 steps, working out an hour a day does nothing for you. That's another thing that's insane to think about. All right, fair use.
This is known as exercise resistance. The acute harms of inactivity are not due to the lack of exercise and are more powerful than the benefits of exercise, they say, at least regarding to fat metabolism. The increase in mortality and reduced daily step counts is remarkably steep. Low background steps per day also impair the metabolic adaptations to short-term exercise. And so here's the model that Coyle et al. Have created to prove this hypothesis. So essentially, they have 3 days of relatively low steps in one group and then have 3 days of higher steps, more than 8,000 steps. I think they had people walk 4,000 steps for 3 days and then walk over more than 8,000 steps for 3 days. And at the end of the 3rd day, they had these individuals do a 1-hour bout of exercise at 62% of their VO2 max. The next morning, they had a milkshake that was high in fats, carbohydrates, and protein. And they wanted to look at post-meal fat oxidation and triglycerides to look at the postprandial lipidemia that I mentioned. And again, that is the post-meal rise in triglycerides, which we've talked about, the lipid load test. We'll get into that a little bit later. And what they found is that 1-hour bout of exercise didn't do anything to suppress the post-meal rise in triglycerides or increase fat oxidation in people who walked less than 4,000 steps per day. But that 1 hour bout of exercise after 3 days of walking more than 8,000 steps per day increased fat oxidation and reduced the post-meal level of triglycerides. So general take home here is that we should be walking on pretty much every day, at least 8,000 steps per day. And as someone who travels a lot for business, for work, I will tell you that this is totally possible. Yesterday, I was sitting a lot of the day, but I baked in exercise snacks. I was with Mark Bell. We did some podcasting and things like that. And after we filmed a 2-hour session, we went outside and did some farmer's carries, had the sled. We did some lunges, did some push-ups, got on the Concept 2, and then went back and did some recording, went to the airport, did a lot of walking. I was able to clock in 10,000 steps, and I didn't go really to the gym or do any structured things. So I think it's important that this is achievable for all of you to do. That's what I'm trying to say here. And it's going to help you. We're going to talk about mortality statistics shortly, but also I think most importantly, improve fat oxidation and prevent age-related fat gain. Now, I just want to pause and say I appreciate you viewing this content. We're going to dive into some excellent studies shortly. If you're enjoying the content, hit that like button. Let me know what you think of this video in the comment section below. And because we're talking about exercise, it's important that you understand the benefits of creatine. This is arguably one of the most safe and widely used and effective ergogenic aids. Creatine is naturally found in food, but a lot of people are not getting enough of it. When you pair creatine with exercise, you can improve your sports performance, your recovery, and your strength, as well as cellular hydration. And so at Myoscience, we have paired creatine monohydrate, the Creapure creatine, which is the only creatine that's not made in China. It's highly purified, along with electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and real ancient sea salt together, because it turns out that electrolytes help with the absorption of creatine. So you can maximize the return on your exercise investment if you train with the novel electrolyte sticks by Myoscience, the creatine containing electrolyte sticks. There's over 800 reviews over at myoscience.com. Here's one review from Matt S. just yesterday. He says, I enjoy using these electrolyte packs knowing they contain more than just trace amounts of the minerals I need to support my activities. So you can see some of the other reviews by going to myoscience.com and checking out the electrolyte sticks, which I will link below, and saving using the code podcast at checkout. So let's talk about ways to overcome exercise resistance and talk about why you should be walking at least 8,000 steps per day. So let's get back to table 1 from the paper that we've been talking about here. What you see is low step counts versus high step counts and the changes in fat oxidation after exercise. So the resting fat oxidation increases 19% after the same exercise bout only in people who are having a high step count. And in this particular analysis, it was 16,000 steps per day, which is on the higher end that most people will be able to achieve. But if you compare and contrast that to the low step count group, which was just 4,800 steps per day, which I think most people should at least aim for 6,000 steps on the low end, the resting fat oxidation differences here were, 13%. And so this is a pretty statistically significant difference. And you can see here, there's a little asterisk indicating that this was a p-value of 0.005, meaning that if you were to reproduce this 1,000 times, 995 times, you would get this same result. So it's very statistically significant, which is important. You also see a reduction in plasma triglycerides following the lipid load test or high fat tolerance test. You see a reduction in triglycerides of 27% in the high step count group compared to the low step count group. You also see changes and reductions in heart rate. You see changes in perceived exertion. The high step count group has a lower perceived exertion. And I think this is really important. People that are very sedentary, they go to the gym and they're just exhausted. Like, oh my gosh, I can barely do this. But when you're more recreationally active and just move throughout the day, improving the so-called NEAT, non-exercise associated thermogenesis, just moving throughout the day, just walking, being active, you start to see all these different changes, including reductions in blood lactate. And so a lot of people notice one of the inhibitors of exercise is the buildup of lactic acid. It creates that burning sensation in your lungs and in your muscles when you're doing high intensity explosive work. There was a 11% reduction in lactate buildup in the high step count group versus the low step count group. And essentially what this is hinting at is the more background steps you have per day, the more responsive your body is to exercise, to structured exercise specifically. So you're going to get a better return on your exercise investment if you have more steps per day. But let's look here at figure 4. And this is the relationship between levels of physical activity and fat oxidation, as well as post-meal plasma triglyceride levels. And what you can see here is essentially this is another way of depicting graphic.
But if you don't sacrifice your time for your health, eventually your health is going to sacrifice your life. Because it said that inactivity is the fourth leading cause of death in America. We live in the quote unquote stroke belt, which is supposed to be the Bible belt. Things have got to change. Walking. Another thing, as you start looking into it, because remember I told y'all that we have a second brain, basically, that's in your solar plex. You also have a second heart. It's literally your legs. So another determinant that they use to figure out how long you're going to live is how strong your legs are. So another thing that you should also be doing is try to get in daily squats as well. Because literally, whenever you're squatting, the glucose and the sugar, your legs literally help to pump all that stuff out. So walking, he said a minimum of 8,000 steps a day will help you live a longer and healthier life. And you can actually see benefits when you work out. Also squatting. But if you get to walking 8,000 steps per day or more, it's pretty good. Because we've as a Griffin tribe, that's what we've been doing. We've been walking and motivating each other. Well, yeah, since Tuesday. So my wife, she found this app. It's called the Steps app. And Jeremiah, he actually tried to send that to everybody in the group text. And by that way, you can actually see your steps, and like you just get in the habit of keeping your phone on you. And like, because matter of fact, if I look at mine right now, my phone's not on me. If I look at my phone right now, today alone, this is how easy it could be. I've already gotten 7,591 steps today. And he said 8,000. It's not that hard. If you start making a habit of, well, whenever you get done eating, going for a 10 to 30-minute walk right after that, your body will digest it better. You'll sleep better. Another thing that walking does is it removes inflammation. So you'll start seeing inflammation come out. You'll start digesting stuff that's been stuck in your stomach for I don't know how long. Like you talked about, it eliminates the risk of dementia, because that's what happens once you just live in that sedentary life. Next thing you know, all these other things come. Your high blood pressure becomes normal. Cholesterol goes down. Stroke risk goes down. There's so many benefits. And again, you can live the life that you want to live, because when you look into the research of like our ancestors, how many steps do y'all think that they used to average a day? So what they said is our ancestors used to average anywhere between 17 and 19,000 steps per day. That's why they were always skinny, always healthy, right? So we got to do more. We have to halak more. We have to exercise ourselves more. No high blood pressure, no high cholesterol. They could literally eat whatever they wanted to eat because they'd be outside and they'd be walking. As soon as they get done eating, they go walking to go do something else, right? So these are the... And then the mental clarity, how good you feel. Yeah, like that first week you'll feel a little sore, but then once you finally get over that hurdle, it's like easy. But what makes it easy for me, I try to do like a nice walk first thing in the morning. You kind of set your day, and you get a chance to be grateful to the Most High, to pray to the Most High, and it's just you and the Most High. It's nobody else. You just get a long time. And again, eating and then walking after meals is vitally important if you can. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was on the phone trying to get stuff situated with the VA and school and all this other type stuff, and I was just literally in our driveway. I was just walking back and forth. Before I knew it, I had 2,000 steps just walking back and forth. It accumulates so fast you wouldn't even believe. But the power of walking. That's why the Most High always told his people to walk with the Most High. Look, he getting his steps in now. To walk with the Most High. No, you can pick and choose when you're gonna do it. But we're gonna stop there today. That is the way to the kingdom, because we want to see this kingdom be established, and we got to be setting our children up for success, and walking is the way. Walking with the Most High, literally and figuratively, physically and spiritually. Because don't forget that you are the temple of the Most High, and he lives inside of you. So we got to do better.